The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of a Master's Journey Foundation. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. A Master's Journey Foundation's name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.
Hi everyone, welcome back to A Master's Journey episode 4. We're still in Texas for the World Social Sciences Association conference. We're still at the Hyatt. I don't know if you can, well, I don't think the camera can see, but like the riverwalk's like down under us, but we still have beautiful scenery. But today we have Valeria Sandoval, our PR specialist, public relations. So, well, welcome to episode 4.
Thank you.
How's it, Wassa treating you?
Moss has been treating me good. I'm enjoying Texas. Everything.
Great. So then let's start with this, Valeria. Who is Valeria?
I think Valeria is a social butterfly for sure. I'm very, I don't know what's the word, like, very open-minded, or like, I'm down to do like, to do anything. Like, for example, Wausau, we're right here. I was like, let's go. Let's drive 16 hours.
16
like,
hours.
you know, I go with the flow. And I think that's the best thing about going with the flow. I have my master's in social work, of course. I work as a special education counselor in one of the districts where I live. I think that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yes.
So you are. I can confirm from knowing you for 5 years, 6 years almost, right around there.
Yes.
You're definitely a social butterfly. You're like down to do whatever. Like yesterday, you did karaoke, out of your comfort zone. It was kind of cool. So yeah, can definitely confirm. So then let me ask you this question. What made you say like, hey, I'm gonna go study social work. I'm gonna go get my degrees in social work.
So it was a long story.
You have time. Go for it.
Pretty much in high school, I didn't really care about graduating. Like, I would miss a lot of school because back then, well, I still have asthma, but back then I had a doctor's note, which was a chronic illness form,
Yeah.
which every time I would be absent, it was excused.
Oh.
So, like, I was like, okay, like, I could miss school and I'm excused, like, I won't get in trouble. So I would at least, I want to say, miss school once or twice a week.
You definitely took advantage.
Yes.
Of it,
So by my senior year, I had very low credits. And at that, my mindset, like, I didn't care about graduating. Until someone mentioned to me, like, are you serious? You're not even going to graduate high school? Like, that's easy. And I was like, I kind of got embarrassed. I was like, wait, you're right. Like, you know? But at that point, I think the reason why I didn't really care is because I didn't really have, like, a goal. Like, I didn't know what to study. Like, school was not for me. And I was like, so what do I do? You know? So, let me take it back. So I did this program to get my credits in time. So I did graduate high school.
Okay.
Going into college, I went because that was a thing to do. Like, go to college, get an education, but still, I didn't know what to do.
Would you say it was like your stereotypical, like everybody does it, I'll do it as well?
Yes. And then I was like, okay. I was thinking, I was like, all right, I'll go into the nursing field since that's what pays you good.
Yeah.
You're always going to have a job, etc.
It's
right?
on demand. It's a very, very, like, they seek nurses a lot, so.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm the only child, so I never had that guidance of, like, how to do a application for FAFSA or what are the steps. So it was even more difficult for me. So I didn't really know what professions there were. And so whatever, I did my generals, and then when I did my bio class for nursing, I was like, what is this? Like, I did not like it. I ended up withdrawing it. And
Wait, but what didn't you like about nursing? Like, is there anything specific that you're like,
the chemistry, like the
chemistry.
bio, like the names of, like, the body and, like, all these, it was too difficult for me. And plus, you had to study. And
Yeah.
no, that was not me. And so I withdrew that class. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm getting frustrated. I don't have patience. I need to do something else now. So by that time, where I live, they opened a clinic, and next to that clinic, they opened like a school, like a medical school for programs. So the CNA, a medical assistant, stuff like that. So I was like, all right, I need something quick, like. So I applied for the medical assistant program, which was like 3 months. And this other foundation or program was going to pay for me because I'm considered low income. So I did the exams, registration, everything. I was in. But once school was going to start, the program, that's when they said, you know what? Since this program is so new, we have a lot of students. Like, we can have like half of Yuma like graduating with their medical assistant. Like, where are you going to work? And I was like, well, what if I want to move out of town? And they're like, no, like, since the program is based in Yuma, like, that's what we're looking for. But then they said, we do have the CNA. And I was like, oh, no. No, thank you. Yeah, no. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? So at this point, it was very, like, frustrating. So I went back to college. I talked to a advisor there. And I told her, like, look, I don't know what to study. This is what I like to do.
You're a social butterfly.
Yeah, I like to help people. Like, I talk a lot. Like, I'm easygoing. Like, what can I do? So she gave me 2 options. She was either social work or family studies. And I was like, what? What's that? Like, what's the difference? And she's like, okay, well, they're kind of similar. But I do want to say that social work is more broad. And I was like, perfect. Like, since I don't know what to do,
you're like, that's good.
I'm going to fit somewhere. I was like, let me get that one. And the rest is history.
So then, would you say that the oversaturation of the program was like a blessing in disguise for you?
Yes, it's something like when, you know, if someone puts something in front of you, like, you're like, what is this? But then, like, you're there and you're like, oh, like, it opens your eyes. I didn't know this existed.
Like, and it piqued your interest enough to where you got your master's.
Yes.
So then, that's your history of how it came to be.
Yeah, pretty long.
It's lengthy, but it's really good. You like to talk, which is fine. So then, after you had decided, what was the process of being in the programs for your bachelor's and your master's?
So for the bachelor's, well, like I mentioned, I'm the only child and also first generation. So like, just the process of like applying for a program like bachelor's, I was like, what? This is hard. Like, what do I do? And since like NAU is in Flagstaff, and we have a small branch in Yuma, it was very hard because Yuma would tell me something, but then Flagstaff would tell me something else, even though it was the same
thing.
And that was so frustrating for me. Gladly, I had some colleagues that were applying at the same time. So we did the application together. So that was very helpful. So once I got accepted, COVID happened. So, and I'm not really good with technology. So everything was through Zoom. The Blackboard, yes. Like even the essays with the formats,
the
like
APA 7 specifically.
Yes, or like just all the programs, online programs. It was very difficult, but gladly I feel like everybody was in the same boat, like kind of lost, that we had each other's back, and they made the program a little less stressful, if that makes sense. So moving on to my master's, I wasn't even planning to do my master's.
Yeah,
honestly.
So behind the scenes, I know we did, a couple of colleagues, myself included, were like, we're gonna do the master's. Come on, join us. You were like, I don't know.
Yeah, because
we're like, we convinced you.
Because like I mentioned, like school wasn't really like oh yeah, I'm gonna get my never through my head, never. So I was like, master's, like bachelor's is good enough. Like, what do you mean?
I'm set.
Yeah, and then like you and other colleagues were like, well, we're gonna do it. Like, are you gonna regret it and like come back by yourself or without us? And I was like,
we guilt tripped you because we're like, well, if you come back after us, you will meet people, you will like, eventually like get to know them, but like you already know us, so like why not be with us?
You're gonna be alone. And I was like, no. So I was like, I guess, but I'm really thankful that you guys pushed me, because you know the master's open opportunity, and like I don't know, that program, the master's was amazing, like with the colleagues, professors, like It was difficult. Not gonna say it's easy, but it was like how Dr. Whistler mentioned, like dancing through the. What did she say? Like through the floors. She
I
would
don't
say that
remember.
like the masters was easier.
Oh yeah. The masters is definitely easier. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so.
always say that. We always preach that. So anything else about your master's journey?
I think that's it. I don't
So
know.
okay. One question in terms of like, your school, like, if you could go back and tell yourself like, hey, be prepared for this when it comes to school. What would you say, like, your past self to prepare herself for?
Like me right now telling
Yeah,
my
like you
young
yourself,
self
like telling your younger past self,
what
be
grade,
like, what?
like what grade in high school,
No,
or
like when you were barely starting the program, like an advice,
oh,
basically an advice. That's my mistake. Like an advice you would give your younger self, barely starting your bachelor's or barely starting your master's.
probably tell myself that everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna happen for a reason. Um, that I'm gonna have the support that I need, and yeah, that I'm gonna make it through.
You're gonna make it through.
No matter if I self doubt myself.
Yeah, and you did.
Yeah.
So that was your journey through your bachelor's and through your master's. Then I know right now you're working with children, right? Through a school district. So how has that been for you so far?
It was kind of difficult looking for jobs.
Yeah.
Because I imagined, and a lot of my colleagues, I think they could agree with me, like, oh yeah, with your master's, all these doors are gonna open for you, and you know. But I was looking for jobs. I was like, wait, that's it, or like the pay was like what? Like I expected to be rich.
Especially where we live. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so it was kind of hard, and like the job titles and the description, I was like, I don't like this, like.
Because they're not social work. They don't advertise them as being social
The
work.
vocabulary I had to like change the wording because a lot was like case management, and like I was like, no, no. And me personally, I like to be out and about, talk to people. So I always had an idea that I wanted to work with children, and even better at schools because of the schedule, like the summer off and
spring break right now.
Yeah, spring break. And then so I was having difficulty in applying to schools because they wanted a certificate to be a counselor, and the certificate mentioned like, oh, you have to have experience this long and all these things, criteria, and I was like, wait, I don't have that.
But I have a master's.
But I have my master's, yes. So a lot of schools were denying me because I didn't have that certificate. But
I remember you went through like 2 schools before you got your.
I think the whole
job, right?
Yuma County district.
Yeah.
Until this school where I'm working, the director called me like, what's your situation? And I told her, and she's like, you know what, if you can, go to Phoenix and try to get your certificate then and there. Like, she was willing to hear me out.
She worked with you.
Yeah.
Which was amazing when I heard that. You're like, I'm like, that's so nice. They're working with you compared to other schools.
They just shut the
They're
door.
just like, like, you have the certificate? No, okay, no, thank you.
Yes. So I'm thankful for her because she pushed me, she supported me, you know. And yeah, it's very flexible. So in the district, there's 7 schools, and I go to all the schools through the whole week. So my day goes by quick. There, I'm here. So yeah, I have my caseload and
bearable, manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No complaints, really.
No, I mean, there's always gonna be things,
you know,
but
sure,
nothing.
Stuff will show up.
Yeah, nothing that's stressful. Like, oh my god, I don't like my job. Nothing like that. So
I'm
very
it's
thankful.
not like a very toxic. Well, not toxic environment in general, you would say.
So I'm very thankful.
Which is amazing. And I've heard stories where like, I can do my work, but at the same time I can be doing some talking with my friends, my coworkers, which is amazing. I know.
Yeah, like no one's really like on my back, like breathing or so it's very flexible. So I'm really thankful, especially for my first job because I'm learning.
Yeah.
So like I'm taking this as an experience for sure.
It's amazing, it really is. So that's currently you right now, and I know you currently, like when we were holding, our shirts, a Master Journey Foundation. You are public relations specialist.
Yes.
How has that been?
It's been good. I really like social media. It was funny because I had I had a training a long time ago with my work, and one of the questions to get to know each other was like, if you weren't in your current position, what would you be? And I was like, an influencer. because I like social media, and everybody was like,
Really?
"What?"
You? An
Yeah.
influencer? Yeah.
So I like it. I like to edit videos because that's what I do.
Mhm.
Post. So I like to interact with people.
Amazing. So, what's next for Valeria?
I don't know. Like I mentioned, I go with the flow.
You go with the flow, whatever it takes you.
Yeah. If
Any-
there's opportunities,
yeah.
I'm gonna take it.
Any goals specifically? Like anything you're like, oh, like right now I'm comfortable, but like in the future maybe this would be nice.
I think I would say the license has always been behind, like
Your
back of my
LCSW?
head.
LCSW? Is that what you want to
That's
do?
always been like a thing, but I'm still like, oh, because if you get the license, it's like more specifically
Counseling? Like the counseling? Do you feel like by you getting that license you're trying to go into that
like
avenue?
specific things,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know if I want that yet. But I mean, it's not.
In the future, you'll
Yeah,
go with the flow.
like you never know, where I
Yeah.
could be. So I'll just go with the flow.
You'll go with the flow. Well, last thing. Is there anything you want to share that I perhaps did not ask you?
Probably a message to the whoever is watching. Let me see. I was thinking about this the other day. I think like we all like compare ourselves with a lot of people, because it's happened to me a lot.
Yeah.
And then like self-doubting, like us ourselves, and like how I mentioned, like comparing, especially like on social media. Oh, this person already graduated. This person already got their house. Like, and yeah, like it feels like real. Like, oh damn, like what am I doing? And my message would be like, it doesn't matter where anyone is at, because we're gonna get there sooner or later. Like everybody has a different timeline. To not rush. That you are where you're supposed to be. So that's my message.
Awesome. Well, if there's nothing else to say, we'll send our viewers to bed, I guess, or to work, whatever you may be doing. So, well, yeah. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias, A Master's Journey Foundation, and A Master's Journey Foundation.org. So, until then, this has been episode 4 of A Master's Journey. See you next time. Vaya con Dios.
Works up.
Works up.